Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at some battles for the new Spring Cup. And honestly, we're going to have a team here that's going to be very toxic, as we're going to have two poison and water type Pokemon here. We're going to have our Tentacruel as well as our Qwilfish here. Qwilfish going to be our say-swap in this team, which is going to be a very cool one, because you see already, we're going to charge up to those charge moves very fast. My opponent catches the move, but they catch on an Obama Snow. We can say goodbye to them already. Goodbye, opponent. This team worked out really well. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's a little bit squishy, which can be a little bit of an issue if you battle up against those more bulkier Pokemon. Because I think the bulkiest Pokemon on this team is actually the Tentacruel, with like a bulk stat of like 2100 around as a stat product. So like there are other teams that just use some more bulkier Pokemon than we do. But yeah, Qwilfish is basically winning CMP against anything in the meta because it's pretty squishy, but still going to do a lot of damage if it hits some moves here, which is going to be interesting. But here we see the Hurricane coming through. We're going to have a shield advantage now against the opponent's Pelipper. We will be able to outspeed them to the next charge move here. And the Shadow Ball is coming through here as well. It's going to knock them straight out of here. The opponent has still two Pokemon left. We already know one of them. And in comes the Jumpluff again. We can swap into our Tentacruel. Now we have the Weezing against us. Tentacruel against Weezing should be a pretty decent matchup for us. Brutal Swing is coming through here. We can go for the Scald. And we would be able to do some decent damage with that one. Maybe get the attack drop. We do not get the attack drop, but we're gonna get the forfeit from the opponent. So how did this go? This definitely went pretty well. Climbed up quite a bit of points with this team, and in total, not with this team alone, but with a different team that even worked better than this one, which I'm going to showcase tomorrow. I'm up now to 2881 MMR, which is very close to Legend, I guess. I'm going to be able to even do some more sets. I just stopped to do this video real quick. So yeah, this team definitely works out well. The team tomorrow, which you're going to see in, I don't know, in around like 12-13 hours. You're going to see that on my channel as well, so subscribe if you haven't already. You're going to be even better, in my opinion. That one even worked out way like not even way better. Like this team also worked out well as I climbed some elo with it. But both of them work really well. So if you want some variety, the next one will be also kind of funny. As we're going to see here that we can go for another Sludge Wave. Like I felt like that Qwilfish always got to those charge moves just the last bit, but also always was like so shy, like the one fast move shy to knock out the opponent. We're still going to be able to win this game here. And we will see the next opponent coming in. We're going to see a Ferrothorn, very decent lead. This is the main reason why I went for Trevenant over Ferrothorn myself. Ferrothorn is an alternative for Trevenant for this team, but I feel like against other Ferrothorns, you would be a little bit weak against it. So I decided to go for Trevenant, which was, in my opinion, definitely the better Pokemon to use. You can still use the Ferrothorn if you want to. That also would work out pretty well. Skull coming through here, going to do some decent damage against us, but of course we have already so much energy stirred up here. We can go for one Sludge Wave and you can boom, goodbye to the opponent there. We're going to just do a lot of damage. And if you think that all moves are resisted, you're correct, but still Sludge Wave will do a ton of damage. As you can see here, nearly half of the opponent's health. If there was a Shadow Qwilfish, it would be even better, because Shadow version would two-shot the opponent's Ferrothorn, which would be kind of wild with like just resistant moves. But you see how much damage this Pokemon can do. It's kind of cool. We see a Thunder coming through, which doesn't make sense. And now we see the Mawile coming in, which literally gets completely hardwalled. There's not a single move that's going to be neutral here. Oh no, there's actually one which would be Wise Grip, which nobody runs because it's a horrific move for any like PvP action. Like a Wise Grip is something that's so bad that I have actually never seen in action. I don't even know how the move animation is, and that's kind of wild. But yeah, this would be the only neutral move that Mawile would learn here. We will be able to go for one Shadow Ball against the opponent's Trevenant, just knock them out straight away, goodbye their opponent. And we can swap out immediately as we see the Shiftry coming in here. This is such a good start to the match again. We will just take one charge move here. This should definitely work out pretty well. We can later align our our Tentacruel, which does more damage with the fast moves. We will get the shield here from the opponent anyway, and we can even do some more damage with our Awkward Tail. Our Qwilfish is just going to town here. Our shiny Qwilfish gonna get both shields from the opponent, allowing us to just farm them all the way down here with our own Tentacruel. We can let this move go through. Going to be the safest play for us, as we're going to see that the opponent got to like throw those charge moves. I can shield up one more time here. Leaf Blade coming through, and we're going to see the opponent going for another charge move here, which I guess I'm going to let go through as well. We see now the opponent coming in here with their own Pokemon. We can go for the debuffing move. Acid Spray, we can knock them out basically now with one Seed Bomb because they double debuffed. And it's going to be a pretty easy game here. Otherwise, if they didn't do like what they did there before and swapped out, I would have just went for one Shadow Ball, and this would have also been a one-shot. So, very easy games so far to play here. We're going to see the next opponent now, Bombers now in the lead. That's going to be horrific. As you're going to see a Lantern coming in, we can go ahead and go for one Sludge Wave here. That's going to be pretty decent for us. It's going to do some decent damage, but we're actually going to get the shield, which might be even better for us. Because we got the shield already, I'm going to let this move go through. It's going to be a Thunderbolt, but we can now swap into our Trevenant, and even now, we will be able to go for one Seed Bomb. This doesn't knock them out, but it should put them into a range where I can farm them all the way down now, which will allow me to go for one Shadow Ball later, and this is the thing with this Trevenant in this meta right now. Other than Shift 3, there's no answer for it. This is not an answer for it. The Weezing coming through here, that's going to really not matter here, as I will be able to swap now into my Tentacruel, and they're now into range for one Scald, which is going to be amazing. I'm going to shield, I think, eventually one Brutal Swing just so I can avoid some damage here. But otherwise we can just go for one Scald, and one big Scald going to be enough to knock out the opponent here. Let's see how much damage it's going to do here. It's going to do enough to knock them out straight away. Let's see who's coming in. Most likely Lantern now. Let's see. It's going to be actually the Obama Snow. And you see me lagging there, which is really bad because this might lose me the game now. I was standing still there for, I think, 2 fast moves of the opponent, but the opponent going to swap now into their own Lantern. I will be able to just let this move go through here, but this might still come down to the wire because of that. I'm not able to go for the Seed Bomb here, but hopefully the Scald going to be enough to knock them out because I don't really want to lose because of the lag. And I will be able to still knock them out there, but yeah, the lag is still there. I don't know if it's because of my new phone or whatever, but those things kind of happen quite frequently recently, but still nothing to worry about here. Horrific lead, they even overfarmed a ton of energy there, which is really good for them later on because they're going to get to the charge moves easier. And now we have to still deal with the opponent's Ferrothorn, which they put us into range where they can even knock me out immediately. This is not looking good. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a loss. Like, the lead was a loss, the Sasor was a loss. And also they're going to have so much spare energy here, which they're going to use against me. It's going to be really tough to come back from this matchup so far. Bombers now. It's not really getting prettier here, right? Like, honestly, we got completely hardwalled in this match. Horrific lead, horrific Say Swap, and horrific Pokemon in the back there that are definitely not going to be very good for our Trevenant. Trevenant basically had only one matchup, and it wasn't on that matchup, so like, yeah. It's going to be a little bit tough. We're going to be able to still shield up this move here, and there's still one chance for us winning this game, and the chance is catching the Energy Ball onto our Trevenant, but honestly, I didn't count the moves. Like, I have literally no idea how many moves they did here, so it's a little bit tricky, a little bit sketchy to catch the move here, and we are not able to. I thought they would need one more fast move, but they were already at the Energy Ball. Great play by the opponent. Like this, there's nothing we can do there anymore. We still actually would have been able to win this if I swapped correctly there, but it's totally fine that we are not going to be able to win this, but it's fine. Yeah, we're going to just go into the next game here. We're going to see the Mantine as this going to go ahead and go for one Aerial Ace, actually, I think. That's going to do a ton of damage, way more than I expected. Mantine is a bulkier version of Pelipper, which has a little bit worse charge moves. Kinda, to be fair, like kinda also some decent ones there, but in general it's just a little bit bulkier. Very good Pokemon on the meta right now, maybe also going to showcase it eventually, but it's a very strong one. As you see the Tentacruel going to do some decent damage here against us, we will be able to just go ahead and go for our own charge move here soon, hopefully, but they actually have Sludge Wave. I expect them to have Acid Spray. Everybody has Acid Spray. It's going to be a tough one. And now Mantine comes in here and going to go for one, most likely Bubble Beam here, just so we have less damage output with our Pokemon later. It's going to be a Trevenant in the back, and I think this is going to be already a good game here, sadly. Acid Spray coming through. There's not a lot that I can do here. We're debuffed from the attack, and I think, again, a horrific lead there causing us some issues later on. This is like something that just can't happen. Like, this is going to be kind of an RPS cup. Of course, if you play something that's a little bit more rarer, like, you might be able to win some more matches with that. But here, for example, I'm 2 shields down right now. The opponent goes into their Mantine. I can go for the Acid Spray, but you're going to see me forfeit soon anyway, because, like, yes, I get some damage off here, but there's not a lot that I can do here. Like, realistically speaking, I don't really want to waste my opponent's time. They don't want to waste my own time. Speaking of horrific leads, we're going to see the next one here. We're going to see ourselves Ferrothorn swapping on against us, which is not really ideal either, but we at least can Sludge Wave them. Actually, I'm curious if Sludge Wave does more damage than Ice Beam. Ice Beam would be also an option for the little boy here, which might have been be a little bit better. maybe 2 Ice Beams actually knock out a Ferrothorn. That would be actually an interesting one to see. Let me see real quick on the site, because it's currently something that I'm interested in. But yeah, again, here, this is the thing that I said already before. If we were Shadow, we would have been able to basically one-shot them there, but like 2-shot them there, but sadly, like this is not the case here. But we're going to be able to go into our Tentacruel, and they don't seem to have the best answers against this Pokemon, which is going to be amazing for us, of course, as we will be able to go ahead and go for the Scald here. Hopefully they don't shield this move, and they don't shield this move, allowing me to now farm them all the way down, which is going to be amazing for us here, as we will be able to now shield up actually the very interesting move there of Overheat. But yeah, we will be able to now do some more damage as well with our fast moves here. We're just gonna go for the Acid Spray, trying to debuff them a little bit, as actually, yeah, Ice Beam does more damage, and actually Ice Beam I think might be the better play to go, because this would allow you to get the Ferrothorn into a range where you can knock them out. So maybe even try Ice Beam on the Qwilfish, because you also need less energy for it. Like, it's 55 energy instead of 65. So that might be actually a play that might be interesting to take a look at. Like, maybe try Ice Beam onto the Qwilfish instead of the Sludge Wave. While I use Sludge Wave a lot of times, it's usually in the situations like this against Ferrothorn, and Ice Beam might be able to just flip the matchup for you, or give you a shield advantage, which might be the way to go for you as well. So, if you want to try out this team, maybe actually try Ice Beam on it. That might be the way to go. But yeah, we're going to be able to go for 2 more Sludge Waves here. But again, we're kind of getting hardwalled by the opponent's team. This next team that I'm going to showcase tomorrow going to be not as much RPS, to be fair. Like, sometimes you're still going to get RPS. I just got RPS in the last game I played before the video. But it's definitely less RPS than this team here. But still, this team worked out pretty well, just because you have a lot of strong Pokemon in this team. As you're going to be able to go for an Acid Spray here against the opponent's Pokemon. But again, we're kind of getting walled the entire time. We literally have the opposites matchups, where the opponent always has the great matchups, while I have the worse ones. But they're actually gonna go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball, which allows me now to farm them all the way down. Here you can only get to 1 Seed Bomb, so this actually makes this matchup a little bit trickier and a little bit closer. I thought of going for the Scald here. I go for the Acid Spray. If I went for the Scald, I think I might have been able to still win this game. I don't know. Nah, not really. Honestly, like, there was nothing I could have done. Like, this is literally the worst possible matchups that I could have asked for, so that's totally fine. Good game there. Yeah. RPS is here, so I'm going to just forfeit there. Next opponent, let's see if we can RPS them back. It's going to be another horrible lead. We're going to swap out here immediately, but both my Pokemon in the back are going to be able to deal with the reccomend. Because we have Sludge Wave here, we're actually going to be able to hit them. This would be a Pokemon that you wouldn't be able to hit if you don't have Sludge Wave. But this opponent's Pokemon coming in here, going to be a good old boy Quagsire. Yeah, Quagsire going to go ahead and chunk down the teams here. It's actually a Pokemon that I would expect to see later on more often in this cup. Main reason for this is it has coverage against the flying type Pokemon like Mantine as well as Pelipper with the move Stone Edge, which you're going to see right now. But as well, it's going to be able to deal with those poison type Pokemon, which I think going to be more common later, like in general over the season, or like over this week now. And Quagsire is a very decent ground type Pokemon for this meta. I think it might be even better than Swampert, which is kind of wild to say. But here we see the Cradily coming through. Everybody thinks I'm going to go for the Sludge Wave, so I'm not going to do the, not Sludge Wave, Acid Spray there. So I'm going to go for my Scald, getting the debuff against the opponent as well, which will allow me now to just go ahead and shield up all the moves. I don't really care about my shields. I don't really care about it at all. I'm just going to shield it up all the way. I just don't want the damage here. This would do the most damage anyway, and I'm just going to farm them all the way down here. In comes now the Reccomend, and I think my opponent knows at this point already. We don't really care too much what the matchup is going to be here. I'm just going to try to debuff them the entire way. And you see already my quest is getting done there, means the opponent forfeited there. Very nice. Next opponent, let's see what they're going to try here. They're going to have a Tentacruel in the lead as well. Going to be an interesting matchup here. Tentacruel in the lead. I usually play it out for a little bit. Go for the bait first, because most people are going to shield this move up. Otherwise, they're going to get into a farm down range. Usually I wait out until they throw the Acid Spray, but because they overfarm so much, I'm going to swap out a little bit earlier. They're going to go for the Acid Spray now, which is a smart decision, as they can go ahead and go for one Scald now. I know it's going to be a Scald, but I don't really want to swap, or like, don't really want to invest my shields here right now. I will be able to go for my own Sludge Wave, go and do a ton of damage and put them into a range where I can go into my Trevenant, farm them all the way down and go basically for one charge move immediately when they go for their own charge move. I don't really want to get debuffed here right now. In comes now the Tropius. This is not ideal for me, but I will be able to now swap into my Tentacruel, which will be able to take this move. But let's see what they have in the back. It's going to be a Trevenant. It's going to be a tough one to still win. Maybe I should have shielded prior. but it's still not over yet, at least because we have a Shadow Ball stored on our Trevenant. There still might be a way. I just have to get rid of the final shield of the opponent. But I know the opponent as well. My opponent is a very, very good player that has been known in the community for longer as well. Of course, I know that they know what I know, so I will be able to just go ahead now, go for the Acid Spray here. This will do some decent damage, hopefully. But it is not really doing a lot of damage. I should have went for a Scald here. If I went for a Scald, I would have won this game because it would have forced them to shield. Sadly, I didn't go for this, and like this, they're going to be able to farm me down in time. This is going to be it for this video. Could have won this final game as well if I went for a Scald, but yeah, this is going to be it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on it. On the right side, you're going to see my top team video for this cup as well. On the left side, you see some other battles with a different team for this cup. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.